Welcome to the Stock Market Daily News podcast for Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Let's recap yesterday's trading session and get you up to speed on the market's biggest headlines. U.S. equity markets lost ground after a recent rally. The S&P 500 closed down nearly 0.5%, the Dow Jones shed about 0.33%, and the Nasdaq dipped almost 1%. Profit-taking in tech, fresh sector rotations, and new corporate headlines dominated the day. The most eye-catching move? Japanese tech giant SoftBank shook things up with a multi-billion-dollar sale of Nvidia shares to fuel its major OpenAI investment. Let's break down the headlines investors are watching this morning. First, SoftBank made waves by dumping its entire position in Nvidia, one of the market's hottest stocks. SoftBank sold roughly 32 million shares last month, raising about $5.8 billion. Nvidia shares slipped around 1.5% in early U.S. trading, closing at roughly $490 as investors digested the news. Why the sale? SoftBank is ramping up bets on artificial intelligence and OpenAI, with new investments set to top $30 billion. The move spotlights growing competition and shifting capital inside the red-hot AI space. Turning to Europe, BASF announced plans to list its agricultural business on the Frankfurt Exchange. The German chemicals giant is separating its AG unit as part of a broader strategy to streamline operations and focus on core growth. Investors welcome the news, with BASF shares moving higher on the announcement. The market is watching for more details about timing and valuation, as new listings in Europe have attracted fresh capital this year. Next, in the Indian market, consumer trends are grabbing attention. Market expert Ambarish Baliga sees Nykaa, a leading beauty and personal care player, becoming more attractive as profits improve. In the same breath, Baliga expressed caution on Trent, a retail name facing pressure from slower same-store sales. The takeaway? Growth stocks in India's consumption sector offer big upside, but investors need to watch company execution and cash flow closely. Let's pivot back to U.S. earnings and analyst sentiment. Intuitive Surgical drew focus in investor letters, with analysts noting stable demand for its surgical robotics business. Shares traded around $340 as the company continues to benefit from expanding adoption, though many funds are taking a hold stance and looking for stronger future guidance before adding to positions. Finally, a leading Wall Street bull chimed in on what investors got wrong this year. Despite ongoing concerns, the bull pointed out that strong economic growth and resilience in several sectors caught many by surprise. Investors who overreacted to market swoons or ignored pockets of opportunity in technology and discretionary spending missed out. The lesson? Stay nimble, monitor trends, and don't let short-term noise drive investment decisions. Quick recap. The S&P 500 slipped to close near 4,700, the Dow ended just above 37,000, and the Nasdaq dipped below 15,000. Key themes. Capital is on the move in AI. IPOs are making a comeback in Europe, and investors remain divided on high growth versus value opportunities. Looking ahead, keep your eyes on upcoming earnings, U.S. inflation data due later this week, and the next Federal Reserve meeting. That's all for today's Stock Market Daily News podcast. Be sure to subscribe and join us tomorrow for essential, actionable market insights.